Will you be taken into account in future, do you think? I address those colleagues who have said that you will be demanding towards Russia when they are back, that you will not turn a blind eye on any breaches. Well, dear colleagues, they are back, with their rights reinstated. But this is the moment to remind of the obligations and rules at the same time. This is the moment to demonstrate your demanding stance for the protection of the values so dear to all of us. And we should reinstate the minimum sanctions in the report that we will vote on when we vote on the amendments. This is indeed the moment of truth for each and every one of us. Shall the Assembly compromise its fundamental values and devalue its standards for good? How shall we explain it to our voters back home? What shall we say to those civic activists of Russia that have sought political asylum in other countries because of political repercussions against them at home? Well, colleagues, I'm afraid that if we don't act today, when we can challenge Russia tête-à-tête for what they have not done, but should have, that our further work and words here will be worthless.
La parole est à Madame Rodnina.
Madame Rodnina.
Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги.
Good afternoon, colleagues, President.
Многие сегодня рассказывали, как давно и как много они сделали.
Many people speaking today have said how long they have been a member of this organisation. Well, I'm here for the first time. I represent our people. We are a large people. I'm a member of the State Duma. I'm an Olympic gold medal winner in figure skating. I have visited many different countries. I always took part in ice skating championships, following the rules, honouring those rules. And I believe that that is important. It is important for everyone to abide by the rules. We all need to be open for dialogue. We have been open for dialogue for 5 years. And it is not acceptable if you have a situation where you have one country speaking about another country, but the other country isn't present to express their position. We are prepared to dialogue. We want to deal with the issues which we are confronted with. We want to resolve these issues together. I have children, I have grandchildren, and I understand that all the issues which we are working on today will not just affect us, they will affect the future of Europe. They will affect the future generations of our country. We need to work to establish peace. That is important for our country, for our people. We understand what peace means, and we are prepared to fight for that. Our people have always stood in favour of peace, and we also stand in favour of democracy and human rights, and we also stand and understand the importance of women, the important role which women play in peace, and we need to fight for this peace together. Thank you.
La parole est à Madame Jourova.
Madame Jourova.
Уважаемый председатель, уважаемые коллеги,
esteemed colleagues, undoubtedly, this is a political, of course, venue where political issues are brought to the forefront. And, of course, we represent those who have our constituencies. And, of course, in our delegation as well, we represent different constituencies. And, of course, our constituents ask us. They ask about resolutions, how our resolutions are adopted, how are things done. And sometimes they're very, very demanding. and they want to participate in this particular discussion as well. And this is very important. These are issues which we all have to bring together. We have to bring before those who have elected us to the various positions. And in PACE, of course, the same thing applies. We are responsible to so many different people. I'm here for the first time. I've represented the Russian Federation. I'm not here for the first time, rather. I have been here before, and I've represented the Russian Federation. And, of course, it was a wonderful experience to be here next to you. Some of them are gone. Others are still here, to work together in the political groups, in the committees as well, to adopt resolutions, decisions, to work on the various issues that concern rule of law, democracy, human rights. Of course, everybody with their particular approach from their particular country. But of course, we dealt with numerous different issues, and we were introduced to issues which were not familiar to us from our particular domestic landscape, but other issues as well. A very rich experience it was. But now, when we've participated, or when I've participated in different Olympic Games, we invited people to come to the Russian Federation to see our Russia, to see how things are, and because I think it's very important to have that type of contact, and we are very, very serious in doing the very best that we can. And I think monitoring, well, we're open to that. It's very important. Monitoring missions that have taken place in the past are important, and those in the future, and of course, we're open to those, and they're extremely important. Now, of course, we've heard about the responsibilities and rights. Of course, we agree absolutely with that. Of course, there are those responsibilities. We're ready to take them on, but it's very important for us to be here on an equal footing. Now, I think it's absolutely it is a major step, a very courageous step indeed, to have the vote on Monday to decide for the Russian Federation to come back to PACE. And I think we have to understand that there were numerous delegations that are here. There are numerous different groups that are represented within the Russian delegation as well. And we want to work together with you. We feel that it will be interesting. It will be difficult work, but it will be extremely important. It will be hot on certain occasions as well, just as it is on the street right now. Thank you.
That concludes the list of speakers, and before I give the floor back to the Monitoring Committee rapporteur, I will recall that the ballots for the election of the Secretary General of the Council of Europe and the judges for the ECHR, for Estonia and Germany, and the second round to elect a Vice President for the Russian Federation are still open, and they will close at 6 p.m. or at the end of the vote on this debate. So anyone who hasn't voted yet, please do so. And I give the floor back to Sir Roger Gall.
Thank you, Madam President. I have listened to this afternoon's debate with a growing sense of disappointment. Earlier this afternoon, I walked along the committee corridor, past the statues, the busts of Václav Havel and Alexander Dubček, and past the monuments to Winston Churchill. And I just wonder, colleagues, what they would make of what is being done here today in the name of democracy. I wanted to hold my fire because I wanted to hear this dialogue that was supposed to be taking place. I have listened this afternoon carefully. I've made the notes to 6 speeches by representatives of the Russian Federation. I heard no mention from any of them about the breach of the law of the sea and the 24 Ukrainian sailors held in prison in Moscow. I heard no mention of flight MH17 and any desire to cooperate with those investigating those deaths of men, women and children who have families. I heard no mention of LGBTI rights in Chechnya or elsewhere, those violations of which lead to people being beaten up, murdered even. I heard no mention, it's in this report, of the investigation of the murder of Boris Nemtsov. I didn't even, Madam President, hear any mention of the dues payable to this Parliamentary Assembly in law. Not one of our newfound colleagues touched upon any of these subjects. So, when I think back over the years that I have been here, and the chairs, including that one that I've sat in, and the resolutions that have been passed and ignored, I wonder just what we are playing at this afternoon. Now, somebody said to me earlier this afternoon, if you were a man of honour, you would represent your committee, the one that I thought I was privileged to chair, or you would stand down and let somebody else present this report, because you're not representing our views. Well, this man of honour can look in the shaving mirror in the morning and knows what he stands for. He stands for human rights. He stands for democracy. He stands, yes, for freedom of speech, the speech that might on occasions criticise other people. He stands for all of those freedoms, all of the freedoms that I thought naively perhaps that this institution represents. And out there, in the press that you're going to read when you go home, what did the Belgian paper say this morning? This is a hobby parliament, and they only take any interest when money is at stake. And that is the perception that because we've run out of cash, because the Russians have withheld these 70 million euros of silver, as I described them the other day, because we've run out of the money, we go with a begging bowl. We discard. Our principles are for sale. Oh, and if you don't like them, I've got some more in my back pocket. Or I needn't have any at all. Just so long as we get the money. Well, one of the speakers this afternoon referred to a blank cheque. Well, forgive me, there's no cheque at all. We are at a crossroads. As Mr. Zola said, this is the moment of truth. Several of my colleagues, all of them socialists, by the way, have stressed the need for some form of restriction, some form of sanction. So what I wrote into this report when I drafted it, reflecting the views of the debate that took place on Monday, reaching the conclusion that I was required to reach, what I wrote into that was some safeguards, some suspensions of some liberties, just until we saw the colour of the cloth. Until, in fact, January 2020, when these credentials can be challenged again. In fact, they can be challenged before. And when any new restrictions would have to be reimposed. But much more importantly, when, as Tom Hammerberg and I discussed, God, was it only yesterday, this new organisation, this new platform, this joint working party, has had the chance to set down whatever new standards we're going to be supposed to live by. It was a bridging measure. And what happened? the committee took it out. So the committee said, unlike my colleague and dear friend Phil Wilson, who wants conditions, unlike Stella Creasy, who made a truly principled speech this afternoon and drew attention to principles and practicalities and persistence, unlike them, the committee, over which at the moment I preside, decided it wanted to remove these restrictions because the Russian Federation had said, in terms, no restrictions or we don't come back. And because some of the people in this room, including some sitting on that table, oh yes, believed that we needed the money more than we needed the principles. And I'm sorry, it was said this afternoon, it was said this afternoon that the House is on fire. This House is on fire. I can face shame in any manner, in any form. I can look in the mirror in the morning. I don't know how many of my colleagues who vote the other way this afternoon are going to be able to. So what I want to say is this, and now I will conclude. The amendments are going to be put before you this afternoon in a few moments. I hope that at the very least this Assembly will have, if not the courage, the common sense to at least reinstate the safeguards that I built into this report to see us through until January. If that doesn't happen, then I'm going to have to advise my friends in this room, as I will myself, to vote against my own report. Thank you, Madam President.
Monsieur Gale.
Mr. Gale, with all due respect, I have to say to you that you actually were not really speaking as rapporteur for the Monitoring Committee on this occasion. I now call Mr. Cilevic, who is Vice Chair of the Monitoring Committee, who will speak on behalf of the committee.
Thank you, Madam President. As a representative of the committee, I must be neutral and I must be formal. And I would like to stress that this is really a very difficult, very emotional and very divisive issue. And also the issue about principles. We have actually basically two views. The first view is this: we must be inclusive and all parliamentary delegations must be present here, including our Russian friends. And I see the point. On the other hand, some people are concerned that unconditional return of the Russian delegation will undermine the credibility of this organization, will undermine the principles of this body. And I see the point too. So I would like to thank everybody who made contributions to this discussion and to this debate. And first of all, which of the views I mentioned before is correct? Will the return of our Russian friends here facilitate resolution of problems we are discussing here? Will this facilitate peace in Donbass, restoration of rights of people who are currently suffering, improvement of the human rights situations in Russia? We will see this very soon, in coming months. And the issue is not closed. We will continue debates on all this issue. And I am sure that in several months we will see who is right and who makes a mistake. Thank you, Madam President.
La discussion est close. Nous en venons à l'examen du rapport sur la contestation pour des raisons substantielles des pouvoirs non encore ratifiés de la délégation parlementaire de la Fédération de Russie. La commission de suivi a présenté un projet de résolution sur lequel 19 amendements ont été déposés. J'ai cru comprendre que le président de la commission de suivi souhaite proposer à l'Assemblée de considérer l'amendement numéro 3, qui a été adopté à l'unanimité par la commission, comme adopté par l'Assemblée. Est-ce bien le cas, Monsieur le vice-président ou le président? C'est bien le cas.
Yes.
Y a-t-il une objection? Il n'y en a pas. L'amendement numéro 3 sur le projet de résolution a donc été déclaré adopté définitivement et nous en venons à la discussion des autres amendements. Ils seront appelés dans l'ordre dans lequel ils s'appliquent au texte tel que publié dans le recueil des amendements. Et je vous rappelle, mes chers et chers collègues, que le temps d'intervention pour chaque amendement est limité à 30 secondes. Nous passons donc à l'amendement numéro 6 et je donne la parole à M. Candelaki pour le soutenir.
Colleagues, it is in all resolutions we refer to earlier resolutions on different subjects, and in this case, when we mention resolutions on this particular subject, Crimea and so on, the idea of this amendment is simply to enumerate resolutions that this Assembly has adopted in 2009, 10 and 11 on the consequences of war between Georgia and Russia. Thank you.
Merci. Quelqu'un demande-t-il la parole contre l'amendement? Monsieur Schenach.
Liebe Kolleginnen und Kollegen, dear colleagues, in the original draft it was a paragraph with the same content, then we deleted. Now it's come back as an amendment, and with a big majority we delete it again because all the references are in paragraph 2 and in paragraph 3, so there is no necessary for this amendment.
Merci. Quel est l'avis de la Commission?
The opinion was rejected by a large majority, Madam President.
Merci. Le scrutin est ouvert. Rejeté. Amendement numéro 1. La parole est à Madame Golubieva pour le soutenir.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to return to the resolution, the reference to the resolutions passed before regarding the illegal annexation of Crimea and Russian involvement in eastern Ukraine. You have said before, many of those who voted for the Soter report, that you condemn the occupation of Crimea. This is your chance to say so in this resolution. Thank you.
Merci. Quelqu'un demande-t-il la parole contre l'amendement? Monsieur Schenach.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's the same argumentation. All those resolutions are in paragraph 2 and in paragraph 3, also the condemning of the annexation. And we voted twice against, also in the original and also with big majority now against amendment number 1.
Merci. Quel est l'avis de la Commission?
Rejected.
Opposé. Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement numéro 1 est rejeté. Amendement numéro 2. Je donne la parole à Madame Golubieva. Ah, pardon. S'il vous plaît.
Dear colleagues, we think it's very important to acknowledge the lack of progress with regard to the implementation of the Russian Federation of the demands made by this Assembly's resolutions. Since many of you have spoken in the debate just a moment ago on the protection of the values and commitments by the Russian Federation. So we think it's important to reflect that also in writing. Thank you.
Contre l'amendement, Monsieur Chenard.
Dear colleagues, again, we agreed that we get latest in April 2020 a monitoring report regarding Russian. That this content should be inside this. So we deleted in the original version and with a big majority also as an amendment.
Merci. Quelqu'un demande-t-il la parole? Pardon, l'avis de la Commission contre. Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement numéro 2 est rejeté. Amendement numéro 8. Conformément à l'article 34.4 du règlement, selon lequel un amendement est irrecevable s'il tend à rendre inopérant un projet de texte dans son ensemble, je suis obligée de déclarer l'amendement numéro 8 irrecevable puisqu'il priverait la Commission d'une position qu'elle doit prendre par rapport au pouvoir de la délégation. Nous prenons donc à l'amendement numéro 7 et je donne la parole à Madame Ionova pour le soutenir.
I'm here. If I have only 30 minutes, of course, then I would like to say really to ratify the credentials is just theater of absurd without any sanction. Because our 8 resolutions, it is written that Russia is an aggression. And I would like to say that you would like to ratify credentials without any sanctions to a country which is killing yesterday, today and tomorrow. And you can choose principles, but if you return them without any sanctions, you choose dishonor. Thank you.
Merci. Monsieur pour la commission, quelqu'un contre l'amendement, pardon. Monsieur Chenard.
This would turn the spirit of the decision from Monday night and the long debate with a big majority adopted into the opposite. And we voted in the committee today with a large majority against this amendment.
Quel est l'avis de la Commission?
In case Mr. Chenard is doing my job today, indeed it was rejected by a large majority. Thank you.
Merci. Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement numéro 7 est rejeté. Amendement numéro 12. Je donne la parole à Monsieur Arieff.
Well, colleagues, it's a crucial moment now for the Assembly, the cornerstone probably. Do we agree with the following amendments to adopt sanctions that Russia deserves? So that means that Assembly will save its face.
Merci. Quelqu'un demande la parole contre l'amendement? Monsieur Chenard.
In the first original draft we discussed long about this paragraph. The Council of Europe committees are strong enough to know who they send, for example, as rapporteur. And the free debate is a very important of democracy. So we deleted in the original version and also with a big majority also this amendment.
Pour la Commission, Monsieur Tchilevich.
Rejected.
Merci. Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement 12 est rejeté. Amendement numéro 5. La parole est à Monsieur Liddell-Granger.
Madam President, thank you very much indeed. This is about obligations to the Council of Europe. When you have people that don't want to comply or won't comply, we have to do something about this. And therefore, what we said that in the Assembly furthermore resolved to suspend until the January session of next year the rights to appoint rapporteurs in the Monetary Committee and other ability for us as parliamentarians to take control of our own lives. And this is why we feel this amendment is extremely important. Thank you.
Merci. Contre l'amendement, Monsieur Chénard.
A majority from different political groups defended in the committee the spirit of the decision on Monday, and this is against the decision of Monday. It tries to change it into the opposite. So we voted against, also because it's no different between the amendments before.
L'avis de la Commission?
Rejected.
Merci. Nous passons au vote. Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement numéro 5 est rejeté. Amendement numéro 14, Monsieur Arief, vous avez la parole.
Well, I see the mood of the Assembly, but I keep on trying. I think that if fairness and justice has a chance in this hemicycle, it will come here. If not, the shame comes here.
Contre l'amendement, Monsieur Chénard.
Wouldn't it be better if my good friend Stefan left it to Boris to speak on behalf of the committee? We get through it a lot quicker.
No, it's the right to speak as a person who is in the committee against, and George, in the committee I spoke against the amendments, and I promised to do it also in the hemicycle. And it is the same text as before, so please recheck.
Monsieur, si vous me permettez de répondre à l'appel au règlement de Monsieur Fox, il a raison, c'est à la Commission de justifier la position de la Commission, mais quelqu'un dans l'Assemblée a le droit de prendre la parole contre l'amendement. Maintenant, c'est sûr que c'est plus utile d'entendre une explication contre l'amendement que le compte-rendu de la Commission. L'avis de la Commission?
Committee is against.
Merci. Nous passons au vote. Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement 14 est rejeté. Amendement numéro 18, Monsieur Arief.
In all our resolutions adopted since 2014, there were a list of crimes. And now we are still having a list of crimes on the table. We propose for the criminal to be just released for murder, for bloodshed, etc. So I would like to call all people who stand on principles, vote for this amendment.
Merci. Contre l'amendement, Monsieur Chénard.
You see, there is in the first line to suspend until 2020 January part session. The Petra Sutter report is an invitation, and then we have to make a report of the monitoring committee, and then we made a compromise. This has to be in April 2020. So why we find now January 2020 is against the compromise, and it's against the spirit of Monday.
Quel est l'avis de la Commission? Merci. Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement numéro 18 est rejeté. Amendement numéro 19, Monsieur Arief, vous avez la parole.
I'm sorry, colleagues, but what compromise are we speaking about? Compromise, it means the conclusion of all positions. But our position was completely ignored, not concluded. And that's why we here forgive aggressor and try, maybe in the future, thinking how to punish the target of aggression. So I think we shouldn't leave it like that. Please support this amendment.
Merci. Monsieur Chénard contre l'amendement.
Against is one more of the same. So we voted against, and in
punished. But if Parliamentary Assembly goes against the principles, what should be the follows up? I would like again to remind you the resolution 2132 that only significant and measurable progress can lead to lifting sanctions on Russian delegations. So I would like to ask you again to support this amendment.
Contre l'amendement, Monsieur Chénard.
I'm sorry to say again, there is no really difference between 19 and 13. We voted against, and we think that this amendment is not good.
L'avis de la Commission?
The committee is against.
Le vote est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement numéro 13 est rejeté. Amendement numéro 12, Monsieur Arief.
I wouldn't like to touch upon other things anymore, but how can you see the possibility when the state which voted for members of parliament voted for annexation in Crimea will monitor the fairness of election in Ukraine, which were a target of aggression of that state? Is it okay for you, colleagues? If not, please support this amendment.
Merci, c'est bien l'amendement numéro 11 dont il s'agit contre l'amendement Monsieur Chénard.
Following all the amendments before, we voted also against this amendment because there is no difference between all the amendments we voted before and we rejected before.
L'avis de la Commission?
The committee was against.
Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement numéro 11 est rejeté. Amendement numéro 17, Monsieur Arief. Pardon, Madame Sotnik.
Merci, Madam President. Amendment number 17. I heard twice manipulation about the decision on Monday. Decision on Monday was compromised, and you just changed the rules and withdraw just some sanctions to vote and to be present in the Assembly and its bodies. All other sanctions, they still in the rules and procedures. Russia committed crimes. Russia was annexed Crimea. Russia occupied Ukraine, and many, many other things. That's why we have it in the rules and procedures, and we propose to have the sanctions according to the Amendment 17. Thank you.
Quelqu'un contre l'amendement, Monsieur Chénard?
Also, by Amendment 17, the majority voted against. The content is nothing new from all the other amendments we rejected before.
L'avis de la Commission?
The committee was against with 12 votes in favor, 18 against.
Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement 17 est rejeté. Amendement numéro 10, Monsieur Arief, Madame Sotnik.
Thank you. Amendment number 10. We still propose to suspend until January 2020 the rights of Russian delegation free debates, to speak on free debates, amendments and table motions. I just can't understand how you propose to terrorists put emotions about victims, or to, for example, aggressor to put emotion on peace. It's illogical. That's why I propose you to support this amendment.
Merci. Contre l'amendement, Monsieur Chénard.
Sorry, I have to say again, it's the same, and we voted against, and the majority voted against.
L'avis de la Commission?
The committee was against.
Merci. Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement numéro 10 est rejeté. Amendement numéro 15, Madame Sotnik.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to remind you that the reason of suspension of the rights of Russian delegations 5 years ago was annexation of Crimea. Then we stipulated in many our resolutions occupation of Donbass and many other crimes. It's still the case. That's why we propose in paragraph 13 to have particular calls to Russian authorities by reverse the illegal annexation of Crimea, temporarily occupied territories of Donetsk and Lugansk.
Nous avons lu le texte de l'amendement contre Monsieur Chénard.
When the committee discussed this paragraph the first time, it was 4 sub-paragraphs. Then we agreed to bring Boris Nemtsov as sub-paragraph 5 in. But then our rapporteur said this is not a shopping list, so we can add and add and add. So in this spirit we say no to this amendment.
La Commission?
The committee is against.
Merci. Nous passons au vote. Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement 15 est rejeté. Amendement numéro 16. Monsieur Ariev? Ah pardon, Monsieur Sobolev.
Dear colleagues, it's not a shopping list. It's a life of man who is now in Russian prison and according to whom it's a decision of European Court of Human Rights to give him possibility to be in hospital. Please support this amendment. We need only one voice in our committee for this. Thank you.
Contre l'amendement, Monsieur Chénard.
This will be an important content of the reports about the Russian Federation we will get in April. And we did not want to add one sub-paragraph more, and so we voted against.
L'avis de la Commission?
Indeed, the amendment was rejected with just 1 vote, 15 votes in favor, 16 against. Thank you.
Merci. Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement 16 est rejeté. Amendement numéro 3, adopté à l'unanimité. Amendement numéro 9, Madame Sotnik.
Yes, thank you. I just want to remind you that one of the main arguments for many of your political leaders in your countries was that if Russia will leave Council of Europe, then many citizens of Russia couldn't go to the European Court of Human Rights. But I need to remind you that they have special law which gives them right not to execute the decisions of European Court of Human Rights. That's why we propose to call Russia to withdraw this legal issues from their law. Thank you.
Merci. Contre l'amendement, Monsieur Chénard.
We discussed this very seriously, and we said this should be a very important point in the follow-up of the monitoring with the Russian Federation. But it has nothing to do with the credential, and so we rejected.
L'avis de la Commission?
The committee voted against with 18 votes in favor, 23 against, 2 abstentions.
Merci. Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement 9 est rejeté. Amendement numéro 4, Monsieur Liddell-Granger.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm just going to read this last amendment out, if I may. The Assembly resolves to annul the credentials of the Russian Federation in its 2019 October part session if no progress is made with regard to the implementation of the demands of the Assembly as expressed in paragraph 13 of this resolution. I think that makes it very clear. We are expecting any country to obligate and their obligations here. I'd urge colleagues to support it.
Contre l'amendement, Monsieur Chénard.
Again, in the spirit of the intensive debate on Monday night, with the very, very clear votum, this amendment is absolutely contra to a debate of welcome and to start of cooperation. Please don't accept, because this we cannot play for the next and the next and the next session. Please don't accept.
L'avis de la Commission?
Against with large majority.
Merci. Nous passons au vote. Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. L'amendement numéro 4 est rejeté. Nous allons maintenant procéder au vote sur le projet de résolution contenu dans le document 14922 amendé. Le scrutin est ouvert. Le scrutin est clos. La résolution est adoptée. Mes chers et chers collègues, il est maintenant 18 heures. D'autres membres de l'Assemblée désirent-ils encore voter pour l'élection de la secrétaire générale ou du secrétaire général du Conseil de l'Europe et de juge à la Cour européenne des droits de l'homme au titre de l'Estonie et de l'Allemagne, ou pour l'élection d'un vice-président au titre de la Fédération de Russie? Si tel est le cas, je vous demande d'aller voter et de le faire immédiatement. Les scrutins pour l'élection de la secrétaire générale ou du secrétaire général du Conseil de l'Europe et de juge à la Cour européenne des droits de l'homme au titre de l'Estonie et de l'Allemagne, ainsi que le scrutin du second tour de l'élection d'un vice-président au titre de la Fédération de Russie sont maintenant clos. J'invite les 6 scrutatrices et scrutateurs, Madame Ganira Pachayeva, Monsieur Martin Vickers, Monsieur Bernard Cazot, Madame Bonica Bonnel, Madame Gemma Grosdanova et Madame Martine Vonner à bien vouloir rejoindre la rotonde derrière la présidence pour procéder au dépouillement des scrutins. Les résultats des scrutins seront proclamés si possible avant la fin de la présente séance, à défaut à l'ouverture de la prochaine séance. Et nous reprenons maintenant nos débats. L'ordre du jour appelle la présentation par M. Peter Omtzigt du rapport de la Commission des questions juridiques et des droits de l'homme intitulé « L'assassinat de Mme Daphne Caruana Galizia et l'état de droit à Malte et ailleurs ». Veillez à ce que toute la lumière soit faite. C'est dans le document 14906. Je rappelle que le rapporteur dispose d'un temps de parole total de 13 minutes qu'il peut répartir à sa convenance entre la présentation de son rapport et la réponse aux oratrices et aux orateurs. Et la parole est à Monsieur Omtzigt, rapporteur de la Commission des questions juridiques et des droits de l'homme, sachant, me semble-t-il, que ce rapport mérite autant d'attention et de respect que le précédent. Monsieur Cox, vous avez la parole, micro.
We have started, now some people are shouting, but we have started our debate. I want to listen to the rapporteur. So could you please say to these people that they go outside?
Vous avez raison, Monsieur Cox, mais je doute qu'ils m'entendent et qu'ils m'écoutent et qu'ils sortent. Je vous propose donc d'interrompre la séance 5 minutes.
We are leaving the Parliamentary Assembly.
Nous reprenons nos travaux. Les personnes qui... Madame Oomen-Ruijten a un rappel au règlement. Enfin, j'imagine que c'est de cela dont il s'agit.
Yes, Madam Chair. In this debate, we had a proof that we should change the rules. Because as members of parliament, we were insulted by a rapporteur and the rapporteur has to defend the opinion of the committee who voted. And as an answer I got in the monitoring committee, we don't have that in the rules. As a man of honor, he should have stand up till we take it up in the rules, voluntary, and not insult his colleagues. That is not the way we have to behave in a parliament. So I would like you to look over this rule, but also another rule, the rule where we vote 10 times the same amendments, because that can also cause accidents. So please take it up for the next bureau and come up with proposals. Thank you very much.
Merci, Madame Oomen-Ruijten. Ce que je peux vous dire pour répondre à votre intervention, c'est qu'en effet, les débats de cette semaine ont montré un certain nombre de problèmes réglementaires, un certain nombre de lacunes dans notre règlement, et je ne doute pas que nous allons faire tout notre possible pour améliorer ces choses et pour avoir des réponses plus adaptées dans les débats suivants. Vous me laissez juste terminer de répondre au précédent point d'ordre et je vous donne la parole. We don't hear the interpretation. Please, microphone.
Madam Chairman, I apologise, but the gentleman that the person has just spoken to is not in the chamber to be able to hear the concern or to be able to answer to it. We have had a difficult debate today, but if people want to stand up for speaking to each other with respect, then we have to respect people being in the room to be able to hear the concern. Sir Roger Gale is a man of honour, even if you disagree with him, and I know he would want to listen and hear your results, so to ask him to be in the room before you insult him is a basic point of principle.
Merci, Madame. Ce que je peux vous dire, vous pouvez écouter ma réponse, comme ça vous savez aussi ce que je vous dis, c'est que je ne doute pas que Madame Oomen-Ruijten dira à Monsieur Gale ce qu'elle vient de nous dire. Et si elle l'a fait, c'est simplement parce que c'est maintenant que nous sommes juste à la fin de ce débat et que c'est donc maintenant qu'elle devait intervenir. Monsieur Zingeris, il vous faut appuyer sur le bouton si vous voulez qu'il y ait des interprètes et que vous soyez entendus. Vous avez la parole.
Yes, Madam President. During debate, when I spoke about crimes of Governor Kadyrov. After that, a young gentleman appeared next to me, and he told me that he is Mr. Kadyrov. Probably he is Mr. Kadyrov relative or son. And then he told me that he will continue with me not only to speak, and he told me, no, it will be not end with your speech. Please, if you are talking with military guys like Mr. Kadyrov, please inform intelligence of France and ask to have some consequences for such people who are not letting us to be safe in this chamber. Thank you. I'm talking about Mr. Kadyrov. Thank you.
Monsieur Zingeris, je vous remercie de nous avoir signalé ce fait. Je vous prie de nous informer directement, notamment les services de l'Assemblée parlementaire, pour que nous puissions donner suite à votre demande, qui doit en effet être vérifiée. D'autres rappels au règlement, déclarations, ça n'est pas le cas. Nous pouvons donc reprendre nos travaux avec le débat sur l'assassinat de Madame Daphne Caruana Galizia et l'état de droit à Malte et ailleurs. Veillez à ce que toute la lumière soit faite. Comme je l'ai dit tout à l'heure, le rapporteur de la Commission des questions juridiques et des droits de l'homme est Monsieur Peter Omtzigt. Il a la parole. Il dispose d'un temps total de 13 minutes. Mr. Omtzigt, you have the floor.
Okay, I will. Dear President, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, freedom of speech and freedom of the media respect is assassinated when the suspected killers are not put on trial and the masterminds are not identified, when allegations of corruption in the entourage of powerful prime ministers go unchecked, then something is going badly wrong.
Microphone.
Your own microphone.
S'il vous plaît, les personnes qui ont des discussions entre elles à mener, elles sont priées de les mener à l'extérieur de la salle, puisque nous avons maintenant le rapport de M. Omtzigt à entendre dans de bonnes conditions.
Thank you. I was talking about the situation in Malta today. Daphne Caruana Galizia was the investigative journalist in Malta. She broke the news on all the major scandal. She was a wife and a mother. She left a husband, Peter, 3 sons,